Afternoon and welcome to Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters. And this is a brand new year, brand new start of a new program. And I am so excited to be here as usual, but this is a different level of excitement. You know, completing the last year was a challenge, but at the same time, God has blessed us tremendously. I am just coming off of the month. We are all coming off of the month October, but for me, it was especially exciting because that was my birthday month, and that was a month to be thankful. And there is so much that we can be thankful for. And although it wasn't as smooth as I would like for it to be, regardless, I am thankful that we are here, that we still have life, that we can still celebrate, that despite everything that is taking place, God has blessed us again with another day. Usually I'm here with my co-host Janelle. God bless her heart. But she is having a medical situation today, and she still wanted to join us, and she might join us still. But nevertheless, keep her in your prayers. We are going to go forward with her blessing because I did receive her blessing. I'm not trying to run without her, right, Ray? And this afternoon with me, I have, oh, you guys don't know how excited I am. I have with me Mr. Ronaldo Escobar. He seemed to be having some technical issues as well, but we're going to work it out. Anytime we try to go on a good path, all these things kind of happen. But I have with me Mr. Ronaldo Escobar. And I am not going to say anything about Mr. Escobar. I'm going to allow him to tell you about himself. I'm going to allow him to just give you everything there is to know about Ray.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Well, Alicia, first of all, I want to thank you for the invitation. I'm feeling so honored and grateful for having me here in your show. I hope Janelle can make it and she can join us at some moment during the show today. And well, just to introduce myself, well, my name is Reynaldo Escobar. Everybody calls me Ray, which is more easy for everybody to say my name. Um, I come from Venezuela. There's been already 5 years and 9 months since I migrated to the United States. Okay. And how you told me, okay, tell me what is your title. My title is, well, I'm basically a human being. I'm a graphic designer, and I'm also do some therapeutic art, life coaching. Okay, so that's the way I found to help people to express their emotions, even good or bad. It's a good way to channel, what you're feeling at some moment of your life. And well, I'm here.
Ray, I am happy that you just kind of mentioned that because I was going to ask you what is what is art therapy?
It's related to the art therapy, even though I'm not an art therapist like that, like per se, okay, because I'm not certified to be a therapist, but I can work with the therapist to, help the patient to work with art. That way, to they can
Okay.
a way to express themselves. That they can express, uh, you know, stress, anger, happiness, anything they want or they need to, take it out of their self.
Okay.
I can
I
help channel that through the art.
That's awesome because like you said, there's more than one way to make it happen. It's not just conversation wise. Art is a good one. Music is a good one. So it is indeed a pleasure to have you here with me, Ray. And usually it's called Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters. And usually I have females on here as my guests, but I have decided, you know what? Why not incorporate men as well? They have feelings, they've been through things as well. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I am Alicia Alexander, and I am your forgiveness coach. And you probably wonder, what is a forgiveness coach? You see, there are a lot of I work with individuals who have been through a situation and at some point in time might have lost their voice and felt that, there's no hope and have to hide behind a mask. And I am your voice. I am your voice of forgiveness. I have speaking to me the voice of forgiveness. That is how I overcame my journey. And because of that, I am your forgiveness coach. I work with you, I speak with you on and take you through the process that forgiveness, what forgiveness is, and how you can use forgiveness to heal. With that said, we're going to go ahead and get into our topic for this afternoon. And again, I'm hoping that Janelle can join us, but we're going to move forward with our topic. And our
Sure.
topic this afternoon is See Me. And you wondering, see me? I see you. And a lot of times people see us in the physical form. In the physical form. And you wonder where I'm going with this topic. They see us in the physical form and we come off as, successful. We're happy, living the life. But do you see anything beyond what you see on the surface? And if you do see what's beyond the surface, would you still love me the same or would you love me less? What difference would it make? And, I'd like to go back to my childhood experience. And you wonder why I keep, returning to this childhood experience, because a lot of times the things that we deal with start from childhood. Sometimes it's not things that just happen overnight. It goes back to your childhood, the experiences you had, because those experiences, the environment that you've been in, those are what shape you to be the person that you are today. Or at least it had a major factor in it. And so when I think about See Me, I remember, again, growing up, I'm from the island of Antigua. And there was times when I was in a situation where there was either a child in church, another kid in church taking part in a program, and they were bright and vibrant, and they had all the colors to go with it. Colorful attitude, colorful clothing, a powerful voice. And me, on the other hand, would go and say what I was saying in the most subtle voice there is. And you'd find one or two comments. Why can't you be like that person? Why can't you be like that one? Why weren't you such as powerful? Open up your mouth. That didn't just happen in church. It happened in school. You have children who are A student, who don't even have to study to get an A in class. And then you have us who have to stay up all night to get an A. And then you have those who have this talent. And you'd have teachers, grown folks, saying, why you didn't do this, or why can't you be like that? And it puts a block, it puts you in a situation where if you get into a box, basically. I don't know if you agree with what I'm saying, Rick, but it puts you in a box where you lose your confidence. You don't have that voice. You don't shine the way you would like to. And they're seeing that person and not seeing you. And you might say, why should that even matter? Why would you make that control your life? Because we all have different personalities.
Exactly.
But there's some of us that allows it, and it has happened, allowed whatever took place to stop us from progressing, to stop us from being the true person we are. And then here we are today as adults, living the life, doing what we need to do, but yet at the same time, internally, we are not shining like we should. And I often wonder, even on my job, different places, do they see me? Not that it's going to make me or break me, but do they see me? And I want you to just see me. And I don't want to believe that I'm the only one that's dealing with stuff like that or have dealt with situations like that. I've grown past it. But like I say, I am the voice for those who don't have a voice or those who think they're on this journey alone. That's what Chit Chat is all about. So, Ray,
Mhm.
You're a man. Men are supposed to be tough. They are not supposed to cry over everything, which I beg to differ with. They're supposed to man up, be the head of household, take care of whatever there is to be taken care of because you are the man.
Mhm.
You're not supposed to have these emotions. Do you guys have any sort of emotions? Do you guys deal with any of these things? Or you just put on the face and put on the man shoes and the man pants and keep it moving?
Okay, so let's start for the principle that everybody is a human being. Okay, every human being has emotions. Okay, uh, and depending on the culture you come from, you are not entitled to show your emotions if you are a man.
Wow.
Okay.
Entitled is a
Um,
strong word away. Entitled is a strong one.
yes, yes. So basically, on the Latin American culture, okay, or some other cultures that says, okay, uh, you are a boy, the boys don't cry.
I think Ray's having some issues with his internet.
Yes,
It's going in.
we as a man, we have feelings, we have emotions, of course, because otherwise, how can you tell the person you love that I love you, or do you want to marry me, or do you want to, you know, get or when you choose to show them. Okay, so as I told you before, okay, sometimes we say we went told like you're not entitled to show your emotions. If you want to cry, boys don't cry. But I can say boys do cry, boys do love, boys do have feelings. Maybe socially, women are more, uh, they have some more permission to show their emotions like freely. But for men, I think like by society or culture, we are not like okay, you're a guy. You if you want to cry, you want to go and hide yourself somewhere else, put yourself together, and then go out. Okay, but yes, we do have emotions, and as you told, when I think this thing about see me starts from your family. When you are a child, you've been told, okay, why you are not like your brother, or you are terrible at sports. I don't understand why you are terrible at sports. So lately, and recently scientific studies, we have been told that we have like a many difference of intelligence. Okay, so there is intelligence for the people that love mathematics. There is people like me like love arts, or they have like a certain ability to perform certain type of activities. Okay, so you got the people that are smart on sports, smart on mathematics, smart on music, smart on language. There's people that is more related to touching, and that is the kinesthetic type of intelligence. So I think that we need to reformulate the way we see the other people and the way we see us internally. Okay, I think at the other hand, lately we've been, looking forward for some kind of approval outside of us. So that's where you see, teenagers having problems because I made a post on Instagram and I don't have as many likes as I want, and that's what they are looking for. They're looking for approval outside of them instead of looking inside of them. And that's, I think that is the key of how you can be a little bit more happier and have a happier life.
But Ray, where do we, that is the key where you look on the inside, but where do we come in? Because we as adults have been through situations
Mm-hmm.
where it stole our innocence, like in my case. Don't know if you had anything personally that you had to deal with, but my situation stole my innocence. It stole my voice.
Mm-hmm.
I looked for approval without words. I would look for approval by just staring, by trying to get involved in certain activities. That was my way of looking for approval without words, because
Mm-hmm.
children are seen and not heard. Today is different where they have Instagram and so forth to put a video, like you say, and look for approval.
Yes.
But we have a work to do where we have been through situations and we have been through it. We know what it felt like. We know what it has done to us. And we're adults living in a society where we're seeing these things happening to our young people. And it's for us to be here on Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters, is for us to be as transparent as possible to say, you know what, this is what I dealt with. It wasn't easy to deal with it. This is what I went through. It was a stump, there were quite a few stumbling blocks. And the stumbling blocks triggered from my childhood into my adulthood. And I'm still dealing with it because there are many of us who haven't spoken about what we've dealt with or what we've been through. We just figure, we just sweep it under the carpet and keep moving.
Yes. Yes.
But, what can we share based on what we've been through? You haven't been on the program before, and I know you've seen a few before. And I talk about my sexual abuse. I talk about the fact that,
I
I
know.
was afraid to wear certain clothes. I was afraid to do certain things. I was even afraid to speak to a man
Mm-hmm.
because, or even take pictures, because when I do, I thought I was ugly. I thought that, I was the epiphany of, I'm not going to make it in life because of what was done to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I share my story to help somebody else. Men, I'm going back to men again. You have men who have been sexually abused, who have uh, been through situations that I can't even think of right now. And themselves become abusers. Not necessarily sexual, but it could be physical. It could be some sort of abuse
Emotionally.
emotionally. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know how, like you say, to say, I love you. And
Yeah.
it becomes a challenge for even for me as a female dealing with a guy and not knowing, okay, where you coming from? Because they don't want to tap into that emotional side of them. Have you been in a situation or an experience where you feel that you had to hide, that you had to live the way people wanted you to live, that they didn't really see you?
Well,
They didn't see you for who you really are. It's like I say, be as transparent as possible. It's up to you as far as you want to go. But where they didn't really see you. And
mm-hmm.
one of the reason why you didn't speak or they didn't see you, just like I didn't speak and people didn't see me, is because I didn't want to be judged. Because
Well,
first of all, it's your fault. You
yes.
caused this.
Yes. In fact, one of my that's something that I realized already when I'm already a grown up man. Okay, that I found my qualifications book from when I was on first and second grade of basic school. Okay, all of them say I wasn't like the best student of all because my qualifications didn't they were an A plus all of them, but I was B C B C B C B C.
He went out again. That's okay. Whenever we trying to touch something that's making sense, it's gonna always gonna be hiccups. Go right ahead, Ray.
Yes, yes. So where did you get? um,
Second grade, first grade,
exactly. Okay.
ABC.
So I found my mom has those qualification book, and she gave it to me like month before I came here. Okay, so I start reading them and say my qualifications were like B and C, not D, but mostly B and C. Not a few A's, but mostly B and C. Okay, but the notes of all the teachers that mostly say, okay, Reynaldo is good at school, but he talks too much in the classroom. So I think that's when I started, like being like more introvert, okay, in order to fit in school, okay. Um, I think that was the beginning of how society starts to, mold your behavior in order to follow or fit in the society you are developing yourself. Okay. So, long story short, uh, when I start going to high school, I was the weird guy. You know, I was all the time all alone. I didn't like to do jobs at school with teams, okay, that you need to get together and do a project or something like that. I always like it to do it by myself, okay, because I feel uh, I don't fit here. This is not my environment, okay. And at the end of the high school, I start, okay. Okay. So the end of the high school is that when I started to being more open and being more sociable, for saying in a way. And there he comes one of the best things that happens when I was on high school on the fourth years of high school. Once I was, walking down to the bus stop to get the bus to go home, and then one of my classmates, she came into the bus. Hello, Janelle. How are you? Okay. Um, and she approaches me and say, "Hey, can I go with you in the
I
bus?"
can't hear you guys, so just give me 1 second.
Uh huh. Just hold on, people. Janelle is here, so she's trying to get connected.
Okay.
Okay. Can you see us? Can you hear
Yeah,
us?
I can see you guys and I can hear you.
How you feeling?
Welcome, Janelle. Jay was just in the middle of telling his, explaining a situation that he took place. But welcome. I am so thankful that you're here. As soon as he's finished, we're going to jump right to you. Go ahead, Ray.
Okay. And she approaches me and she told me, "Hey, can I go on the bus with you?" I was like, "Okay, well, I don't have a car,
Okay,
so
he's having some technical issues, so
okay,
he's going in and out, but we're going to make it work. Go ahead.
okay,
She can go on
okay."
the bus with you.
Okay, she went on the bus with me and she started talking, and I was thinking and saying, thank God my thoughts doesn't have subtitles. I would say, okay, here comes this girl talking to me all the way home, and I don't want to talk with anybody. So, long story short, she became my best friend from high school, and we still friends. She actually lives in Austin, Texas. Okay, and we still in touch, and since then,
But you see Ray's situation just like us, Janelle. Because we're talking about see me. Ray's situation just like a start back then, where
Yeah.
he was in second grade and the teacher's telling him he talks too much in class, and that caused him to become an introvert, which took him throughout his entire life. And
Yeah.
we, like I mentioned earlier, we keep going back to our childhood because that's where it starts. It starts there, and we have an opportunity to stop it from continue taking place.
Exactly. Exactly.
Before we move any further, let me just go ahead, Ray. Sorry, go ahead.
Don't worry, don't worry. So, the long story short, she became my best friend. She's still in touch with me. She lives in Austin, Texas, and that's when I started like being more socially open. Okay, but it was on my on my comfort area. Okay, I wasn't like, hey, start talking with the people sitting on my side or something like that. No, it's when I feel comfortable is when I start to being just myself. Okay. um and going back to that time when we were in high school, I had I have to do an exposition at class. I was taking sociology at that moment. And the teacher told me, okay, Reynaldo, you are going to talk about the Russian Revolution. Okay. So, you know how teenagers are, you know how we get bored in classes that, okay, this guy is talking too much for something that it doesn't get our attention. So what I decided to do was, do the highlights and do my exposition. It took me like about 15 minutes to do the exposition about the Russian Revolution. And the teacher, she decided to put me like, it was like, I remember clearly, it was the punctuation, the highest punctuation for the exposition was 5 points. Okay. And she told me, no, your exposition was too short, too quick, so I'm going to put you 2.5. Unless you want to add something more interesting.
Okay.
I
He's
took the challenge. I took the challenge and I told my teacher, okay, I take the challenge. Okay, I accept you can evaluate me with 4 points. And when it was my chance to do the exposition,
I'm gonna have to ask Ray to move back to where he was before because I think where he was before was better. He was in a different situation, Janelle.
the end of the exposition, of course, everybody was like so bored. So, okay, why you took the whole hour to speak about the Russian Revolution when you told us already the highlights of what happened? Say, okay, what can I tell you? The teacher told me it was too short. You want to have the half of the punctuation, unless you want to do it again, and but you will be evaluated for. So that's when I go to the point when you
It's still breaking up, huh?
Hmm. But his, I think when it's thing, it doesn't show all the
eventually,
breakage. I'm not quite sure,
yes,
but we're gonna push through this.
okay. Where did you get about my? Because we are having some hiccup here with the connection, so I
You
don't know
think
if you.
the area where you were better?
Okay, yes, yes. So, well, at the
Okay.
end, long story short, at the end of the exposition, okay, I got the 4, but I got everybody bored at school.
We still put you back in that box. So, Janelle, thank you for joining us. I thank Ray for that. My apologies that is going in and out like that. But again, whenever we're trying to do something and going in a certain direction, there always going to be hiccups. But we're not going to allow those
Yes,
hiccups to put any stumbling blocks in our way.
yeah,
Janelle,
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm happy to be here. I did not want to miss it, but circumstances that were way beyond my control held me hostage. They decided that they were going to let me out of the hospital which is where I just came from, they decided they were going to let me go home and doing the release and the process work and all that stuff. And I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, I got the show. Then the phone died and I couldn't get back in. And I'm like, Alicia, send me the link. I'm actually not going to stay on really long. I just really wanted to come on here and to say hello and just to say how proud of both of you I am. I know
Thank
both
you.
of you are so-called introverts, and I already know that the thing about it is you guys both have such great potential. Believe it or not, nobody would ever believe that I was an introvert. I know it's hard to think, but I really was an introvert. I was the type of person that, liked to be behind the scene, but whenever someone wasn't doing it the way I thought it should be done, I always had a problem. And I always pushed myself to the front because I always wanted to help them and show them, hey, this is how you need to do it. And I guess that somehow overruled my personality and pushed me out in the front. And I guess I'm now an extrovert. I don't know. But I just wanted to say, you guys are doing a good job. This is our first show back after 1 year. And I think it's a great move, Alicia, to get it from a male perspective to see, men want to be seen too. They cry, they hurt just like us. They have situations that they have to deal with too. So I think I'm excited about where the chit chat with the Journey Sisters is going. And I just wanted to come on and say, keep up the great work. I look a hot mess. I feel kind of dizzy, but I'm gonna get through this. So thank you guys so much, and I'm gonna be watching on Facebook. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Get well
JL.
soon.
Thank you for
Okay.
showing
See
up.
you soon.
Thank you so much
Yes,
for your support.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
we're praying for you. All is going to be well.
Thank
Thank you
you,
again.
thank you, thank you.
And I
All right.
know for sure you, JL, make sure that you're seen. JL doesn't hold any punches when it comes to being seen. She get on the mic and she get out there. But
Yes.
like we were talking, so you go get some rest, okay, sweetheart?
I will see you guys later. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Bye bye.
See you, love. Well,
So we have
and
quite a few guests online, Ray.
mhm.
And for your stuff, you keep going in and out, but we're gonna push through this. Again, thank you so much. Like Jane say, it's a good move taking it in an opposite direction, in the other direction. And there are comments coming in saying, men have feelings, they hurt inwardly and desire to be heard as well. And somebody has said, we're all human beings and have feelings, right? Um, but the inward, keeping it inward, how does it doesn't help relationships.
Yes, it's when you are. That's the point. When you start, being like society wants you to be, and you start, struggling with what you really are, what you really see into you, and what the rest of the world wants you to be.
But
Then you,
how do you push through? How do you push through rather than just wearing that mask every day? How do you push through where they see you as a man, where they see, and I shouldn't say see you as a man because they can see you physically. I'm trying to get deeper than that. I'm trying to
Mhm.
get deeper to the point where how do, how do I get around as a man? How do I talk about my feelings? There's, anything that happened to me, anything that happened to you, you just brush it off and keep going. You just brush it off and keep going. How do I open up and say, listen, this is what
Well,
I felt. I'm ashamed that I'm ashamed that I'm an introvert. I wish I could, I'm ashamed that I don't have the six pack. Is that even relevant? Does that present a problem?
yes. Well, how I push through, I can tell my puberty and adolescence was the hardest times of my life. Okay, so because feeling like I cannot express myself, feeling like I don't fit where I was, feeling like I wasn't entitled to express myself or express what I was feeling, I went through all this time just at that moment will that moment how I went through and how I expressed my feeling was writing. Okay, I just wrote. I just wrote, and that was the way I found to let out what I was feeling, how I was feeling, um, what I wanted to say, and nobody wanted to hear. So the time passed by, and I just find out, okay, you don't need the approval of the society, or you don't have to be what they want you to be.
But you
Be-
see, but you see,
Hmm?
for some men that becomes a challenge because they they don't. It's not, the approval of what society is, but it affects the way you deal with your relationship. It affects the way you handle your marriage. It affects the way you deal with your children. And yes, women are a little more vocal or a little more allowed to be a little more expressive than men are. But at the same time, you're the one that's getting involved in the marriage. You're the one that's going to have the children too. So why is it that you guys are not free to talk the way you think you should talk? For some people, they write like you do, but for others, they put on this tough exterior and their marriage fall apart. Their children don't have that respect because they don't know how to relate to that child, because even as adults having children, they're still internalizing everything.
Yeah, so you need to start to being the difference you want to see in your world. That's easy as that. So if you don't like something, what are you doing to change that? Okay, because if you know like something is not going to change, but you can be the change you want to see in the world. So I started just expressing myself, expressing what I felt. If people didn't know at that moment how to handle that, what can I do? Because I don't want to keep suppressing myself because you want me to do, or you want me to be someone else according to your mind, your perspective, or your social statements. You know, I just decided to express myself, to be me, to be the person I see inside of me. And at the end, that's the more healthy thing you can do in your life. Because if you suppress your feelings, even good or even bad, at the end, like it's like a pressure cooker. You're gonna be there, steam, 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 steam. And if you don't open the valve, it's going to explode. And that explosion will be reflected in your health, in your mental wealth, and your emotional being, and in your relationship with the other peoples.
And
You
and
know,
you
and
know, mhm. Go right
you
ahead.
okay. So you and me, we have to deal with people all day long. And one of the things I always say when I'm talking with somebody and that people is being mean with me, first of all, I give thanks to God, my thoughts doesn't have subtitles or closed caption or something like that, because I would be, go home and don't come back to work any longer. But at the other hand, I say, okay, maybe this person is passing through something really hard, and they don't have the tools, or they don't find the way of how to channel those feelings or those emotions. Okay, Unluckily, we are like the trash disposal for their negativity or for their bad day. But I found like if I don't take it personally, just I finish my what I was doing with that person. Okay, have a good one. Next, please. And that is something I think the last generations, the generations that came before us, they didn't have like a life manual or instructions booklet about how you will deal with life, how you will deal with a generation that's coming after you. Okay, and I can say at this moment, our generation, the generation that is coming after us, they are having more tools um, to express what they are.
I think that this platform,
Sometimes our generation doesn't understand what they're trying to see, what they're trying to show, but who are we to be judging the voices of the other people? You know, uh, because I feel at the moment you start judging and you start to trying to change the way they see the world and they see themselves, we are, you know, uh, doing the same error that the generations came before us did with us.
yes.
So I think we need to be more mentally open, start, being more in connection with the young people and start listening to them and try to find the way to show them how they can channel their abilities, their talents, their voices, and how they want to be seen in the world.
And I think that only comes from our experience. It is going to start with us
Mm-hmm.
that have been through things, that are dealing with stuff, and have decided that we are going to be a voice. We have passed, whatever it is that we went through, have dealt with it, and have found a proven method, a method where we have surpassed it, we can open up about it, we can talk about it. And now we have the opportunity, rather than continuing to suppress it, to help somebody else. And
Exactly.
it's going to come from both angle, from a male perspective and from a female perspective. Because I
Mm-hmm.
can talk all day about my experience and about what I feel and what I've been through, but I don't know what you've been through. I don't know how you dealt with it. And by you speaking up and speaking out, then we can work together and say, you know what? This is probably going to help somebody
Exactly.
because we are sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike back then, whatever happened at home stays at home. Whatever happened in the village stays in the
In the
village.
village,
You
yeah.
are, you are a child, so you're to be seen and not heard. Deal with it, get over it. But
Mm-hmm.
if we start talking about it, start expressing what we're dealing with, we can figure out how can we help somebody, not even just the generation that's here now, but how can we even help those who are our age or even older who are still thinking, I have to wear this mask. I have to be I have to be the stronghold. I cannot speak or be, express certain things because if not, I'm still gonna be looked down on. And with doing all that and saying all that, people around us do not see the true me,
Mm-hmm.
do not see the true you. Because I come into this relationship prejudging. I come into this relationship with my own preconceived notions about you.
Mm-hmm.
about Venezuelans, about about your culture,
Yeah.
rather than give you the opportunity to express yourself and see who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a lot of us, that's where the breakdown comes in, prejudging. I am at the point in my life right now, respectful as I might be, and like I try to teach my son to be just as respectful, but at the same time, I want to be a voice. I don't need you to just see the physical part of me. I don't need you to just see what my outward capabilities are. But who is Alicia? Can you see beyond all the accolades that I might have received? Can you see beyond the dreads? Can you see beyond that? Can you see beyond the glasses? Can you see
Yeah.
beyond the mixed match colors that I wear? Why do I wear these mixed match colors? Why do I wear heels all day? Why
Yeah.
do I, like a customer said to me just this week,
And the thing
Alicia,
is, Alicia, not everybody wants to see the real you. You know what I'm saying? Just the people that make that connection with you is the people who is looking forward to see the real you. As you see me every day, I'm being myself for most of the time. You can see me, maybe I'm dancing somewhere else, and I'm being told, hey, there's some cameras here. Yeah, 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 yeah. So okay, so what? I'm not doing something against the policy. I'm just being myself. And maybe not everybody's prepared to see our real self. And just keep, trying to be politically correct, okay, but still being me, you know. Okay, we have to do certain things by the book, but out of that, I'm just being me. And if people like it, good for them. If don't like it, it's good for them too, because I cannot, harass people for to like me, or I cannot be pursuing people. Okay, like me, like me, like me, because everybody's, the free will. They have the free will to choose what they like and what they don't like. If they have the free will to choose if they like me and they want to see my real me, or if just get like a good working relationship and that's it. So it's something that I feel is people that really wants to see you and being more what's behind the appearance of that person has. And we have to joke. We joke most of the time when we're together, and that's the way I find out to listen to your inner voice, and the way I found that you can listen my inner me, that you see my inner self and I can see your inner self.
so you're basically saying have that true connection. Not everybody's gonna be for you. Not everybody's gonna be against you. And the point is to use what you have. You know, the point is to use what you have. Not everybody's gonna be for or against. But when you
Mm-hmm.
make that connection, that person will truly see the inner you, just as you would see the inner, see who they really are. Um, one of the reasons why I wanted to take it to the next level where men are concerned is that we are all on a journey. We started somewhere
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to end somewhere. And we're all on a journey, and it only makes it better if we take this journey together, where we try to understand each other. Anytime except for my son,
Mm-hmm.
where I raised him. So I really know his personality. I've built that relationship with him. Except for him making a connection with a man, I did not have that close relationship with my father. So therefore, I didn't get to see that side of having that relationship with a man from a father perspective. I
Mm-hmm.
do have that relationship with my godfather on the other hand, but at the same time, I'm older now. So therefore, I am seeing things a little different from a mature perspective. But at the same time, if we learn to work together and we learn to be expressive, there's so far that we can go. Relationships would last. But in order
Mm-hmm.
for me to have that connection, I have to understand you. I have to understand what you feel, what you've been through. And unless you as a male choose to express it and say, you know what, sweetheart, I hurt too. I have feelings. I have emotional feelings. I have concerns where insecurities are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Men can be insecure too. But when you internalize everything, it makes it harder for you to relate. And like you said earlier, it's easier or it society accept it more when women express themselves that way.
Mm-hmm.
Why why doesn't society accept it when men express themselves that way? And because society don't readily accept it, men don't want to express themselves that way. You know, they if I'm talking to somebody or if I'm getting in a relationship with someone, just even casual friends,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think that you have to put on this persona? Why can't you say, well, listen, if you I don't like using the word broke, but I'm broke. I
Yeah,
can't
that
afford to do certain things. I can't afford to go certain places. Tell me what it is so I can accept you for you.
exactly.
Tell me how it is so I can relate to you. Because you'll be surprised at my story as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it started somewhere and it has to stop somewhere. Like you said, your voice was shut down in second grade when the teacher said you talk too much. Do you think that if that teacher had said it a different way or done something in a different, like put you in charge of a particular project,
Of
that
course.
you would have been able to use that voice, but your
Mm-hmm.
personality would still shine through as a male? When it comes to a woman and she's talking so much, yes, she could be on the debate team. She can do so and so. She can write an article. Why don't you get that same level of respect?
Yeah. And the thing is, Alicia, through the history, it's been made, like statement. Like if you show your emotions, you're a weak man or you're a weak person. I understand that maybe sometimes we have to be our emotions keepers, okay, just to protect ourselves. Because if you are in an emotionally abused relationship, you need to protect yourself because your weakness can be taken to destroy yourself. And that's when I start saying, okay, you need to be happy with you to be happy with someone else. And if you feel that person is not making you happy and is threatening you in some way, physically, emotionally, mentally, just turn on the page and follow your road. So, because you don't need to have or to be with someone that is um, denigrating you or minimizing you in some way just to say or to fit in the society. Oh, I have a spouse, I have a partner, I have a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend, I have whatever. And the other thing is, and that is like an advice for our generations and then generation that are following us, just express yourself. Tell the people you love them. Tell the people you miss them. Tell the people you miss them.
Ray, it's you say tell the people that you love them.
Exactly.
And you say tell the people you love them. And that's a strong word in some people book, because when you use the word love, they think that there's so much else attached to it.
Yes. So
Love is love.
and here I come with something that is just a language thing. In Spanish, we have like te amo y te quiero. In English, we only have I love you, which can be used if I love you as a friend or if I love you as my spouse or my woman or my man or whatever. So in Spanish, we used to tell te quiero to our friends, but el te amo, which is I love you, is something more deeper, more coming from your heart, from deepest feeling, from somebody that will be your partner for the rest of your life, or that person that make your heart beat faster than it usually is. So we don't say te amo to everybody, and that's something
Right.
that in English we have that issue. I can tell you every day, okay, Alisa, I love you, have a good one, but you know what is the intention with my I love you,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Right.
and that's something maybe it's a language thing, but I'm
You
starting,
know,
to know the difference.
embrace it.
Yes, 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 yes.
I love the opportunity to, and I'm excited about having you back again when, where other topics are concerned, because I want to continually a man's a man perspective. You know, like I was mentioning earlier, when I can get up and express myself certain ways, you probably can't. And I never even realized that, like you say, society has put that block. That, I realized it as a child, having my own child, that your man, toughen up. Then we realize it when we start getting into relationships, that men are not expressing themselves the way you would like for them to. But I did not realize on the broad scale that
Hmm.
society is not fully accepting of a man just saying, you know what, I hurt. Because the minute you start saying that and you start expressing it, it becomes big news. What? Ray's crying? Ray,
Hmm.
and that's something I want to even dive deeper into, that I just want to understand where you guys are coming from. Your perspective, your feelings, your emotions. How can we relate to each other? How can we help each other? I know we bleed the same,
Yes.
we bleed the same, we eat the same, you know. What make added to the fact that you have the, whatever it is that makes you differ, because that's how we're created. Emotionally, we share the same sort of emotions.
Hmm.
Are yours deeper than mine that I can't see you? Are mine so open or so broken because of what I've been through that you can't see me? How can we see each other? And I had to learn, for me personally, from a female perspective, that, like you said, I can't live based on what people are saying. I can't live based on what the expectations are. I have to love me and grow from there.
Yeah.
I have to love me in order to be able to love somebody else.
Hmm.
I have to love me so that I can sleep comfortable at nights. So I have to love me so I can be free.
Yeah.
And for me, I had to love me unconditionally in order
Absolutely.
for me to forgive.
Yeah. And as much as you love yourself, you won't be afraid of being alone, because you, as I used to say, you are with the people or the person that love you the most. That is yourself.
Interesting,
Mhm.
interesting. And with that said, I know it went by pretty quick. We are at the end of this chit chat with the Journey Sisters,
And your brother.
Ray and a brother. I am, I am thrilled. I'm just wobbling in the moment right now. I am thrilled that you accepted this invitation. I hope
Thank you.
that it was enlightening to somebody. I hope something that we said today was an eye opener. I hope that we were able to minister to someone today in terms of where you are, where you should be, where you could be, because I
Mhm.
can't tell you where you should be, but where you could be, not even just in society, but where you could be just for yourself, for starters. And where I
Exactly.
could be is I could be in love with me. I might want everybody to see me, but the question is, do I see me first?
Mhm.
Do I love me first? And in order for me to walk out my front door, open my car, walk into a store, walk into a restaurant with confidence, it's not about you seeing my physical appearance. It's about me seeing me and having that confidence to stride through, to see it through.
Yes.
You know, I absolutely love the hour that we spent together. Miss Janelle, but we wish her speedy recovery.
Yeah.
Ray,
Yes.
any parting words before we sign off today? Give some parting words, one and two. Let them know where they can find you if you have a social media page or anything.
Yes. Yes. Well, right now I'm working on my website, which is reyescobar.com, REYESCOBAR.com. My email address is ray@reyescobar.com. Okay. And on social media, you can find me on Instagram, which is my handle there is a little bit complicated, but let me spell it for you. It's ONOKOTOKO. Okay, Onokotoko. And when people ask me, okay, why you're using that? At one moment in my life, I was trying to learn Japanese. Okay, and that is like a modification of one boy in Japanese. Onokotoko, it means basically one boy, and this is me.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And I am Alicia Alexander again, your forgiveness coach. Forgiveness is a challenging task, but it's doable. It's one of the things that I so admire. I love my God. I love who I serve, but I so admire him for dying on the cross. And he could have said anything at the last moment. And he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do."
Mhm.
If he who did not deserve any sort of pain is still asking forgiveness for us, what can you do to someone that is so wrong that, or someone can to do to you that is so pain that you cannot ask for forgiveness as well, that you cannot forgive? I will take you through the process of forgiveness.
Exactly.
You can find me on social media on Instagram as She Forgave One, on Facebook as my name, Alicia Alexander, as Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters, and as She Forgave. It was indeed a pleasure being here. We look forward to speaking with you next month again on another interesting topic. Don't know who I'll have as the guest at that point, but I promise you it will definitely be eye opening, enlightening. And you guys have a wonderful week, wonderful month. Blessings to you. And we look forward to seeing you again on Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters.
Thank you for
Bye.
having me here.
Thank you so much and for accepting. You are so welcome.
Thank you.